name is Matt, and welcome to hopefully the first of many videos on the Cozy Frog YouTube channel. Cozy Frog is a small indie game dev team consisting of me and my partner Alice, with her doing the coding and game implementation, while I deal with the concepting and creation of art assets. We've been working on our projects for the last year and a half, including a few game jams here and there. But I'm here to talk about our latest project, Interstellar Plunderer. We decided to take inspiration from those old Star Fox SNES games, and the current Vampire Survivors style roguelike gameplay trend that's been showing up a lot recently. And after some thought, we also decided to develop this game for mobile, since the gameplay we had in mind would work well, and this would help us keep the game to a smaller scope so we could develop it within 2 months. So, yeah. That was back in July, so as you can see, it's gone well. Interstellar Plunderer follows a simple concept. You control a pirate ship which will automatically shoot enemies in front of you, which will drop XP on death to give you levels. Levels will give you random upgrades to choose from, which will let you shoot enemies more efficiently until you eventually explode and have to do it all over again. That's the core gameplay loop. From there we built up a system of bosses, loot, events, and levels to explore. Taking notes from Jetpack Joyride, a childhood favourite mobile game of mine, we added Plunder, a resource collected in each run that you can spend on upgrades for your ship, as well as new ones entirely when a run is finished. You get Plunder by shooting gold asteroids that spawn randomly throughout the run, and by defeating bosses, which I'll touch on a bit later in the video. In regards to those Vampire Survivors style upgrades, we started out with the basics: ship velocity, attack damage, X and Y speed, etc. Eventually working on adding more interesting upgrades like slowing bullets and changing the ship size. But we wanted something really game-changing. So, we made it so every 5th level we treat you to a legendary upgrade. Now, these are all really cool. We have an explosive mine, mini drones, additional shots, pulse ray, and more which we plan to add later. Alongside the upgrades, we also created achievements that would serve as unlock requirements for the new cards and ships to use in future runs, kind of in the style of Risk of Rain 2. We really wanted to create a system where it feels like that every run you do works towards something to help you progress further in future runs, not just a big old high score. There are currently 2 unique areas in the game that show up on the random map rotation: the Alien Orbit and Intergalactic Border Control. The Alien Orbit was the first level we worked on, and I really wanted it to have retro Space Invaders style enemy design. So I created these goofy little dudes, which all fill out basic enemy tropes, and will have a familiar feel to a lot of people. Intergalactic Border Control, however, pits you against the Space Police, which have force fields, lasers, and space bolos to lock you down and end your run early. These levels will be pretty boring though, without a big, juicy, unique boss to show up at the end of each. So, I began working on the boss fights. For each of the boss fights, we wanted something to break up the regular swarms of enemies that you encounter for most of the level. So we created designs for these big, multi-stage battles that will wrap up each level nicely and give a pile of experience and plunder for beating them. They consist of the big yellow alien overlord, and the extreme police interceptor. The bosses ain't no pushovers though. It took me a few runs to master their attack patterns and consistently be able to beat them. Of course, you're gonna have to figure out the strategies for yourself. The last thing I want to touch on is the difficulty curve. As the run goes on, the enemies have to bulk up in order to stay competitive against your growing power. In order to achieve this, we have 2 factors for increasing the enemy health and attack speed: the amount of time into a run you are, and the stage number you're on. I could get into the maths on that, but that's boring. So instead, here's a cool red button. I wonder what it does. For the future, we have 1 more level to add before we release the game, that will put the player in a ship graveyard and have them face off against a pirate fleet along with their dreaded flagship. We also have 5 playable ships planned to unlock, upgrade, and plunder with. With any luck, Interstellar Plunderer will be released on Android phones at some point in the near future, and if this video gets enough traction, we will consider work on an iOS port as well. I hope you all enjoyed this first look into our game. We have lots of fun projects that we would like to work on moving forward, so like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. If you have any feedback or ideas, then we have a Discord below where we would love to hear what you thought. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the last few clips accompanied by more of our original soundtrack composed by the very talented Mental Cacao. Link to their commissions page down below.